Putting the pressure on other drug companies, starting next month, Eli Lilly will cap the out-of-pocket cost of all of its insulin at $35 per month. Pharmacist and owner of Panama Pharmacy, Dr. Kevin Duane, is joining us this morning. Doc, good to see you. I know that we talked about this on the day of the announcement, which was Wednesday. What does this mean for Americans?
Yeah, I mean, this is a game changer for people. Insulin is something that millions of Americans will die without the use of daily. So to do what Eli Lilly is doing, to move the price of insulin back to a level that we haven't seen in 30 or more years, is just something that will be some much needed relief for millions of people in the country.
So certainly people that do not have insurance at all are able to get some benefits. So they were, for the most part, getting their insulin, correct? But it's the people that have insurance but don't necessarily have a lot of extra income that are really going to benefit.
That's right. Yeah, we talk about a phenomenon that we've seen recently of underinsured people who have health insurance, but they still have very large out-of-pocket costs every month. And what this will allow them to do is to use less of their income on medicine and reallocate that to, maybe rising rent or food prices or whatever it is that they need to sustain their living.
And that's millions of people that are insulin dependent with diabetes. Is Eli Lilly losing money here with this move, or is it marketing? Is it a way for people to say, oh, look, Eli Lilly is one of the pharmaceutical companies that's trying to do right by us?
So I think that I think no. I think if they're losing money on this deal, it's probably not as much as we would think, and that's because in the past, historically, drug manufacturers have gotten access to patients through formulary. So that would mean that they basically pay rebates to insurers to make sure that their drug is the drug that's featured on a particular insurance plan. And I think that what Eli Lilly doing now is to say, hey, we're just going to compete on our own merits. We're not going to try and pay our way into the arena. We're going to instead see, let the best man win. So I think that probably they're going to save a lot of money in the rebates that they're no longer paying to big insurance, and instead they're just giving those dollars back to consumers.
Wow. Okay, so that's better. More money in the pockets of the common people. And you look at the math, some people are paying about $200 a month right now for their insulin. That's out of pocket. And sometimes the insurance cost could be as much as $1,000 per month. And then you look at the other hand with that $35 cap, then that's like $420 a year versus $2,400 a year. I mean, big cost savings here.
And we're talking about thousands of dollars per year per person. So, I mean, this is just, it really can't be overstated how big of a game changer this is going to be for diabetics in the country.
Do patients need to do anything special if they have insurance and they want to get this deal?
So there are three main manufacturers of insulin in the United States. So the first thing they should do is, if they're not taking an Eli Lilly product, the other two main manufacturers have not yet announced similar pricing structures or discount programs that Eli Lilly has. So I would say talk to your doctor or pharmacist now and see if maybe switching insulins to an insulin that is covered by this program would be appropriate, and have those conversations now rather than when these price slash start to hit the market soon.
And Kevin, finally, real quickly, are we hoping that this paves the way for other companies to do this, for other drugs?
I think it will, because I think that there's going to be tremendous market force to do so. I think that this is going to really reinvigorate competition within the space. And I think that when you have competition in any space, the consumer is the ultimate winner. So I think that we will see pressure amongst not just politicians, not just the president, not just Congress, but pressure just amongst each other manufacturers to lower those prices to compete with each other again. Yes.
All right, Dr. Kevin Duane with Panama Pharmacy, thank you for coming on this morning. I know you got to get back to work. You've got a lot of patients to serve here in our community, so we appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.